We streaming? We going? Hey! Can you guys see us? Can you guys hear us? So far it is only me, but other two are coming in a couple minutes. Ooh, I gotta turn you on. There's the sound. Hi! Oh, ew, it's running on my YouTube channel. That's not what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, alright, there.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yo!
GoDad, are they, like, on?
Yes, we are going.
Okay, what's up, peeps? GoDad in the house.
Yeah. Nice, you can see and hear us. Well, thank you guys all so much for showing up. It is time for Existential Crisis Day.
Woo!
We're planning on doing a drunk episode, but we're not actually going to because this guy has a show that he's doing sound for.
Yeah, or next time we'll be drunk.
Yeah, it might be more appropriate to be drunk for the next one though because it's the premise is you go to a big rager and then you fuck a random guy.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, you get to fuck Lank. That's gonna be a time. 5 whole people, yay! Well, Chrissy will be here in like 2 seconds. I think we have some people over for the weekend, I think. Oh, should adjust this, the camera wise.
Can they see me? There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
is it lagging?
Oh, there's always a lag, yeah.
Okay. As long as they can see me, it's fine.
Bum, 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 bum. Of teen and tech cervix. I think for this we're gonna start with Nike's route because we know you have to leave early.
Okay, that's fine.
So I think what we're gonna do is you're gonna do narrator, and Chrissy's gonna scream the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'm excited about that.
Sure.
Chrissy, you ready? We're going. We've been live for a little bit.
So, Chad, how have all of you been? How was your day, you know?
How was your week of absorbing content or doing whatever real people do when they're not online?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating ramen all this whole time because I haven't eaten anything today. We were doing Times Apprentice rehearsals. You guys should watch Times Apprentice.
Wait, you need a loud person to yell at people!
Yeah, we've been waiting for our loud person.
Where's my water bottle? I had it right there. It is. Okay.
Here, you're probably gonna, need a chair.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, you actually sit closer to Anna because you're a little far from the microphone. I'm the loud one. I apologize to your earbuds ahead of time.
Okay. Should be interesting.
Yeah, oh my god.
Okay, brushing my hair. All right. And we are live. Hello.
We've been live.
Yeah, we've been live for a couple minutes.
So sorry for making it awkward then. Just YouTube being like...
Non-Homestuck people. Any plans to get into Homestuck? Well, 413's coming around.
I'm writing a ficlet.
Yeah, she's writing a Stelzias ficlet, and I'm so excited to read it.
It involves murder, which is great. God damn, I dropped my chapstick. Oh, why? I'll worry about it later. Find it.
Sit on down.
Going down to join my church.
The weed and booze at my lighthouse perch.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, non-high school people, any plans to get...
HS Homestuck.
Oh,
non-Homestuck people, any plans to get into Homestuck?
Yeah, you can tell who the non-Homestuck fan is in the
Yeah.
street, so.
Anna still needs to yell at us more to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm working on you. I think it's working. I think she's reading an ancestor fic that I told her to read.
It's well written, and it has
I
your
told
musical.
her.
You did tell me to read it. This is
I
true.
told
and
you
I'm
it was
now,
good.
I don't know, this series seems fun. I don't have, the time to read,
8,000 page webcomic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also now reading murder.
Yes.
Writing murder.
This is it, fellas.
Another nightmare of laughter and camaraderie. Another night of joy and communion with some totally normal teens who would never... Ha, just kidding, idiot. You're still on Alternia.
James Roach wrote that. He's the composer.
Of course.
Nerd.
You just know one of these miserable cuckle fucks is around here somewhere.
Cockle fuck.
waiting for your
All
right
clouds
moment
are cucks.
to inundate you with another disgusting dose of friendship.
He's a cock.
You know what a cuck is?
Wait, I told you what a cuck is.
Noah is a cuck, you know.
Oh, right, yes.
The thing that Miriam always calls Noah.
Right, you'll have to tell me it again.
Don't broadcast Noah's status on all these people. Okay.
Guys, if you know it, Noah, don't
Noah's
tell me.
not
tell him he's a
actually a
cuck.
cuck. We have a friend who makes fun of another friend of ours.
Yeah,
about
that's
being
all
a
it
cuck.
is.
It isn't really good.
Who is going to be the author of
Oh,
your...
exercise, though. Sorry.
You're good. Who's going to be the author of your destruction on this accursed evening?
We're gonna start with Nike.
Yes.
Dim lights, the
Oh,
din
wow.
of a roaring crowd, and the smell of horribly overpriced and nauseating concessions. Even across galaxies, timeline, and perhaps even universes, there's still something deeply familiar about a sporting arena.
Smash your mother honking face in!
There's also something deeply familiar about sports fans.
I'll do Amicia.
Blah, such a shame having seats next to the purples. They can be so crude and boorish, don't you agree? Chahood wouldn't be nearly this loud. Usually.
You find yourself here attending a wrestling show, or a display of muscular theater, to use the tutorial terminology. Thanks to the benevolence of one Amicia Erdane, she won the ticket in a raffle and excitedly invited you to come along. You agreed, with some reservations that you quickly expressed. She was quite disappointed, but eventually agreed not to kidnap you and keep you locked up as a living paint jar, since you're buddies and all. What a sweet friend. You have to admit, though, muscular theater isn't really your thing. It's as over-the-top and ridiculous as human wrestling, which makes it perfectly entertaining enough, but it's also, well, a lot more violent. Participants aren't expected to die, as far as you can tell, but you've already seen a few get wheeled off into a futuristic hover stretchers with injuries you're not sure they could survive.
Oh, gosh, she nearly got impaled there.
Every match tonight is taking place within a chain-link cage. Spikes surround it both on the outside and inside and jut out occasionally from the places where the wires cross. The overall design, in addition to ensuring maximum bloodshed, seems to keep both the wrestlers inside and the audience out. Ironically, it might be safer this way. The current combatants are some olive blood named Huntress and purple blood calling himself Culpits. Interestingly to you, there is nothing clown-like about him at all. It is almost conspicuous how unclownly he is, if only due to the absolutely ridiculous amount of clown content you have imbibed in the presence of other purples. The two fighters appear to be nearly evenly matched. The olive troll ducks and weaves amid blindingly fast punches from the purple, slashing at him with grandiose arm gestures, trying to overwhelm him with a barrage of small attacks. Every one of his punches hits hard enough to knock her down, but she always springs up before he can land a second hit. She's incredibly steady on her feet and quicker than he. In fact, you get the distinct impression that the olive troll is holding back, presumably so as to avoid inciting the crowd. Thus far, you have not seen a single match in which the lower-blooded opponent triumphed over a higher-blooded foe.
I must admit, this match is a lot more tense than I was expecting. But I hope it ends soon. There's supposed to be a really famous muscular theatress performing next. Her name is Nike Moolah, and she hasn't ever lost at a fight. I heard she even beat a Violet Blood once.
Nike Moolah, huh? Now that's a name you could befriend. She must be as big a deal as Amicia makes her out to be, because she uses her real name instead of some ridiculous made-up nonsense, like John Cena or Hulk Hogan.
Oh, look, he got her.
You flinch. The purple blood finally managed to get his quarry in his clutches, and he lifts her up by the face, digging his fingers into her skull until you hear a sickening crunch and she collapses to the ground, panting heavily. She can't bring herself back up to her feet, and the announcer calls the match to uproarious applause from the audience. Two trolls enter the cage and start digging her out, while the winner basks in the audience's affection. The olive blood looks like she'll probably live, but she's got a dent in her face that probably isn't coming out, ever. Ew. All of a sudden, you think you really need to go, get a bathroom? You mean use the snack? You mean you'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Come back soon. This fight's giving me all sorts of ideas for a new painting.
You quickly make a break for it, jostling your way through the stands and towards the exit of the arena. Before you make it, a voice calls out to you. Some slick-haired and slick-finned violet-blooded guy, wearing a full suit with a tacky flame pattern on it. Hey, you! Alien! Me? You ask, pointing nervously to yourself. No! The other alien! You swing your head around wildly, looking for the other alien. This bit plays out predictably for a while before you both get on the same page, which is that you are the alien whose attention he wants. You looking to make a little extra buck? No, not really. You never spent all that money you won with Asja. Okay, how about fame? Frankly, you were probably already too famous for your own good. Friendship?
Oh!
Oh shit, yeah! Sighing with relief, the troll leads you backstage while it's explaining that he is a promoter for this wrestling ring. One of the trolls that was supposed to perform tonight was eaten by some plant called a troll-devouring
Catchy grabber.
Catchy grabber? What the fuck is a catchy grabber?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds like a sexual term.
Yeah. As such, famed muscular theatrist Nike Mula has been left with nobody to fight. You will be that nobody or somebody. An alien will bring in all sorts of media attention and controversy, which of course means big bucks for him, and friendship for you. Nike is so friendly, he says, in a tone so insincere, even your friendship-abled brain refuses to believe it. It's okay, you've met worse.
There she is.
Nice. He takes you into a back room, which seems to be full of performers waiting for their turns on stage. There are all sorts of trolls here, muscular and sweat-soaked. Blue-blooded more often than not. One troll in particular stands out to you, from her severe expression to her softly pulsating robotic leg to the fact that she's the only troll with a fully illustrated sprite. Haha. She's currently doing bicep curls instead of spiked weights, huffing with exertion. When the promoter approaches, she looks up with a scowl.
I'm busy.
He begins to explain that he had brought a new challenger for her to face, but she cuts him off and stands up. She isn't as tall as you expected, but damn if she isn't dense. Packing more brawn than any other troll you've met.
Do you want to know what happened, sister, to people who disturbed my preparations? Do you want to experience the bone-crushing, torso-shattering impact of these ladies right there?
She flexes. God, those muscles are huge.
They are.
The promoter tells her that she really doesn't need to keep up the act. There's no cameras back here. She gives him a stern look, which distinctly suggests that she never dropped kayfabe in her life and has no intention of starting now.
Make it quick.
The promoter makes it quick.
So, let me get this straight. Is this G too gravelly? Is this okay?
No, that's
this
great.
Is good. This
Yeah.
is good.
You expect me to perform with this thing?
She seems less than impressed, which you find reasonable. Magnificent legs aside, you don't really look like the wrestling type.
Don't you dare insult me, sister. I'd rather you pulled a Rusty from the audience that subjected me to this humiliation.
Oh, but you are more than just an audience member. Frail though you may be, you have the heart and soul of a wrestler. What? You have much longer than about 5 minutes, you thoroughly assure her, waited for an opening such as this, to reveal your true passions to the world, to come alive on stage and grapple and tumble with the best of them. For eons have you thirsted for the chance to sing the song of the sinew, the hume of the heft, the melody of the muscle. Would that you could be blessed by the opportunity to live this life of the athlete, to perform alongside your hero, to show the world that you, too, love to do the muscly thing. That you might just...
Okay, I get it.
She glances over at the promoter and then back to you.
It does seem surprisingly articulate for a lesser being. But it isn't ready for a butt-clenching, flesh-abrading, knuckle-blistering, muscle-rippling smackdown from Uptown! I'm sorry, I hit your head.
You want yes.
Okay. You nod your head confidently, blistering my knuckles and abrade my flesh, you say. Let's get this smackdown started.
You got guts, at least.
She turns to the promoter and gives him a curt nod.
The match is on.
Then she turns back to you.
Now, sister, we need to discuss the show. I will make all the decisions. You'll respond adequately to the storyline I present. It will be thus. The alien invader challenges me in an exhibition match to topple the mitography.
The matriarchy.
The
Matriarchy.
matriarchy. That's so bad. To topple the matriarchy. The fight They fight valiantly and show an entertaining display of strength. But in the end, as is right and proper, the nobler hue of the hemospectrum prevails again! Ah!
She starts flexing. Let's see what the chat thinks. Chat, what do you think about the voice?
There's a
It's
sweet
a
bro in
C.
hell. Oh yeah, someone made a sweet bro in hell Jeff face.
Wait, did they say it's glitching?
Just for that person.
Alright, whatever.
Guys, do you like the voice?
This guy likes
They
it.
seem to like it.
Say okay for you. Thanks very much.
Quality school.
10 out of 10.
Thank you guys. I yelled on
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the.
I feel like she'd be a fun
Background.
Dragon Ball Z character.
She
to
would,
do.
yeah, she'd fit in perfectly with the universe and stuff.
Voice
Thank
is pretty
you.
spot on. Oh shit, I'm at 20%. You guys keep reading. I'm gonna plug in my computer.
She starts flexing and showing off for an imaginary audience before turning back to you.
Any questions, sister?
Yes, actually, you do have a couple of questions. First, will you die?
No! Unless you're particularly disgustingly weak, in which case, maybe! Such is the risk we take, we who indulge in that most noble and dignified of sports. I was willing to give up my leg for the craft. Is your life such a heavy price to pay for a tale that will transcend us and be remembered in the annals of muscular history?
The angels.
Is it, sister?
Well,
It's rhetorical.
right. Secondly, when she says expedition match,
It is a muscular theater term! Referring to a match staged for entertainment that does not affect one's ranking on the flex ladder. We will not be sparring in the nude. Such glorious displays of raw, chiseled physique are reserved for the intergalactic Trolympics.
no, yeah, you got that. Mostly you were wondering if it meant the loser's head being exhibited on a pike or some other bloodthirsty nonsense.
Do not degenerate this noble sport with claims of savagery.
Thirdly, you're getting the sense that she's going to be playing the heel, yeah?
The what?
You explain that in your own cultural equivalent of muscular theater, performers generally fall into the category of face or heel, wherein the face is the rule-abiding and sympathetic figure the audience is meant to root for, whereas the heel takes on a more aggressive and unlikable personality.
What part of my personality is unlikable? Do you dare suggest, sister, that the audience won't be roaring in thunderous applause and admiration as I conquer yet another pitiful foe?
You tell her, you know what? She can be both the face and the heel, and you'll just be...
Subjugated under my heel?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Moolah! Chatting time's over. You're up. She jerks her head back at you and silently marches out of the room. You begin to follow, and the promoter directs you to your entrance on the other side of the arena. You wait nervously for your cue to enter. Well, folks, we've had some technical difficulties, but here comes the match you've all been waiting for. Wearing the belt of the champion and the legs of her own design, she's ready to gut the competition. A paragon of power, a lady of legwork, a true blood ruffinator in the making. Clap those hands and activate your screech crevices. It's Nakia Moolah! Nakia approaches the cage to thunderous applause, raising her arms and soaking in all the praise. Nike.
It's the shoe.
She flexes. Oh, that's cool. Let's see what they did there. She flexes and poses as the audience throws glasses of milk at her, which shatters uselessly around her steely frame.
Milk?
Yep.
Okay.
Blue blood's like milk.
Yeah, that's a protein.
This appears to be a common ritual for her. She steps through one of the cage's doors and it slams shut behind her, locking tight. With her arms crossed and her teeth firmly gritted, she awaits you. As the announcer begins a new intro speech, you step forward. And in the other corner, frail in stature, weak in knees, wearing a perpetual look of befuddlement, we have some messed up low-blood alien! How has this absurd mockery of life not been culled yet? Perhaps only so fate could lead them to their thirsting and their bloodthirsty hands at barbed foot of the Grand Nike! A decent portion of the crowd boos at you during your approach, which you find unsurprising. You have to dodge a hail of old boots and rotten fruit. Someone throws an entire piano at you. Relatively unfazed, you enter the ring and hear the door close behind you.
So, you come here, alien, to prove your kind superior to the unbreakable, unstoppable troll species!
Yeah, you shout. Your kind is so superior to trolls. Whoa.
And you, their emissary. Does this creature look superior to you, my theater enthusiasts?
She turns to the audience, throwing out a hand and gesture to you. They boo.
Is this sorry specimen the best its planet can offer? I'm so sorry, I'm so loud.
You're doing
perfect.
great.
No. More boos. You counter that you came more than prepared to tackle the, matriarchy. Yeah, that.
I love what they call it that. So, you claim to be prepared. But are you prepared to face these 24-inch slither noodles?
She flexes so hard the announcer's sleeves explode.
So be it. I'll crush you in a single blow.
You're expecting a referee to start the match, but then it occurs to you that there is no referee. Somewhere in the distance, a bullhorn sounds, which is apparently the signal to begin. Without taking her eyes off you, Nike grabs the cage wall behind her and hoists herself up effortlessly, scaling it in reverse until she reaches the top. The announcer is screaming something about this move being called the Spiky Nike. Once she finishes her ascension, Nike deftly leaps from the edge of their cage and spins down towards you. Her body twists and writhes in the multiple blindingly fast flips before her robotic legs come slashing at you. You spend quite some time admiring her dazzling form before it occurs to you that you should probably move. You duck and roll forward, feeling the point of her leg just barely graze your scalp. The announcer shouts, "First blood!" as you feel a light trickle down the back of your neck. Some members of the crowd are booing, presumably because they just noticed the color of your blood. Between the neon lighting and distance, they probably just think it's rust-colored and not a mutant red, so at least you have that going for you. What you don't have going for you is time to think about your next move, because Nike pivots on her heel and charges at you. This time, she's going for a more theatric throw. Two powerful hand grabs you and lift you over her shoulder, where you nearly gore yourself on one of her horns in your struggle to escape. You plant two hands on her back and push hard, and you are delighted to find that her grip loosens and you go tumbling over her back, landing with a clumsy stagger on your feet. You're not sure if she lets you get away with that one for the sake of the show, or if you just slipped out of her sweat-soaked palm, but you're going to charitably assume the former. She turns to face you, grunting and baring her fangs. She charges, rearing back a fist, and then sending it barreling towards your fragile human nose. You leap out of the way, only narrowly dodging it.
All you've done is avoid me, coward! Where's your killer instinct? Did I scare you? Are you loath to face my true blue, muscle-bound beauty?
You take this as your cue to attack, and instead, you run full tilt away from her. It isn't fear carrying you, you swear.
Fool! There's no running or hiding from Nike Moolah! Stand and fight!
She sprints towards you as you flee. The crowd is on tenterhooks. Nobody knows what you're doing, least of all you, but you think you can pull something cool out of this. You leap at the cage wall, barely dodging the spikes that line it, and use the slight amount of give in the chain link wires to springboard you off. With an exuberant grin, you go flying toward her, arm held out for a classical clothesline maneuver, and then you collide with her own arm and whop! When you wake up, you are lying on what appears to be an exercise mat. You feel a telltale throbbing sensation in your face that indicates a black eye. The rest of you, thankfully, doesn't feel particularly hurt.
Is that a whip?
Yes.
Oh god, what is this place?
This is a gym.
A whip spike pit, I love it. Nearby, you hear one of the huff and puff of exertion. You glance over and spot Nike training on one of those leg press machines you always saw in gyms, but never had the courage to attempt to use.
Oh, those suck, they're great.
She's wearing an exercise outfit which, despite its vastly different purpose, looks almost exactly like the outfit she wore in the ring. It has all of the functions and fitness aficionado would want. It's loose, breathable, and the artists don't have to draw a second set of sprites for it. Haha. As soon as she notices you're awake, she turns to speak with you. She doesn't even stop her workout.
You're finally awake, sister. Welcome to my hive. I've spent so much time, so much precious, valuable time waiting for you to open your eyes.
Oh god, how long have you been out?
About 40 minutes!
Whew, that's not so bad. Is it?
Perhaps, but only when compared to your abysmal performance in the ring. Did I?
Abysmal.
Abysmal, thank you. Your abysmal performance in the ring to be knocked out cold by your own attack? Wretched. I am an impossible foe to conquer, and yet even a Rusty has towed me longer in the realm of Mortal Kombat. You are weak, sister. Offensively so.
She slams her foot with such velocity, the weight of the leg press goes flying off and leaves a dent in the floor. Grunting, she stands, takes a long swig from a bottle, and then approaches you with fire in her eyes.
What do you have to say for yourself?
You scuttle backwards, proffering only a sheepish smile. Sorry, I guess.
I didn't bring you here for apologies. I brought you here to see your heart ignite with the will to improve. You are not a worthless being. You have a flair for the theatrics, an appreciation of the sport, and a shining soul filled of only the most intractable determination. You could be so much more than you are, sister. I could make you so much more. Cast your gaze around you and behold the Bronzium!
You obediently cast said gaze around. This room is massive and littered with training equipment as far as the eye can see. Much of it resembles exercise machines like the ones you had in gyms back on Earth, but there is plenty more that looks far more alien and deadly. A treadmill which appears to throw the runner into a vat of acid if they fall off. A series of swinging axes that would look at home in a dungeon. 3 different varieties of Iron Maiden, each more horrific than the last. This is presumably Nike's personal workout studio, but you could easily mistake it for a torture chamber. You wonder if Ardata has ever considered a job as a personal trainer. Maybe you should bring it up with her.
There are some who may be worthy of my expertise. It is here that I can forge them, just as I forge myself into beings of adamite strength. The journey will be harsh. If you are made of weaker stuff than I believe, you will perish in agony. But if your core is strong, and your will of iron, yours will be an unquenchable might.
She extends a hand to you, her jaw set.
Join me, sister, and together we shall ascend to
Tumescent?
Tumescent heights
I honestly don't even know what that means.
of muscular perfection.
There is a look in her eyes that you have never seen before. One of hope, of faith. Her arm vibrates, muscles quaking. Do you take it? Yeah, take it.
I'm going to make an executive decision and say we hesitate.
Okay. You begin to offer your hand. Under her steely gaze, your resolve wavers. This all seems like a lot. Too much, even. You don't know if you're made of the stuff tough enough for the training she seems to be offering. You would like to prove yourself, to become strong. You really would. But does she perhaps, just maybe, have any courses a little easier on soft and squishy creatures like yourself? The expression on her face grows terrifyingly blank. She's not scowling, or snarling, or sickened, or any other S word. She's just looking at you with the vaguest hint of disappointment, dripping from her otherwise neutral expression.
I see. You're like all the rest, aren't you? Unworthy to receive my gifts. Unwilling to reach your full potential. A pathetic, simpering thing, playing at dreams of muscular greatness it can never achieve because it doesn't have the will for it. You're an insult to my art. You spit on my passion. Get the fuck out of my face and do not ever dare to return.
Shrinking under her steely gaze, you quickly flee her hive. Is this it for you? Is the screen going to fade to black, replaced by a goofy cartoonish and card and some somber game over music composed by artistic genius James Rouch. Fuck you.
James Roach.
Roach.
Fuck
No.
you, James Roach.
No, you refuse. You are not ready to call this friendship kaput. You'll show her and her draconian methods up. Damn it. It's time to get ripped. You're going to do it your own way and then return. And then she will be so utterly impressed by your muscular growth that she will have no choice but to admit that you are friend material. Sadly, do not know any blue bloods characterized by an absurd love of muscles and bodybuilding. They're basically all total nerds, actually. But you can perhaps think of somebody from a nearby hue who can help you. Her doors...
It's
My troll!
Oh no.
Yep.
Her door swings open with gusto and you are greeted by a familiar smiling face.
Oh, what an unexpected surprise! You really should have called. Or texted. Or did literally anything else to alert me to the fact that you wanted to visit me on such short notice when my schedule was so terribly packed. But that's alright, I can squeeze in a meeting, I'm sure. Do come in, do come in.
You step past the threshold of the door and into her office/living room. Tyzias is sprawled out across the couch, lazily holding a book up to her face. It looks like she's studying, which is a relief to you, because you would have felt terrible if you had interrupted some intimate time between them. Unless studying is intimate for them, you kind of hope studying isn't intimate for anyone. The prospect terrifies.
Would you like to join me in ZZ for some grub loaf? It's no imposition, I'm sure, I promise.
You absolutely would. You didn't know Stelsa was a cook on top of everything else she does.
Oh, no, I could never. There simply isn't enough time. I'm just ordering from Door Smash. It's excellent stuff, really. It's excellent stuff, really. It is. ZZ has some very colorful words for the taste.
It's pretty bitchin'.
Yes, it is, certainly. Fact. Pencil our good friend here in for a dinner date, can you, darling?
They're literally here, right here already. We don't need to do that.
Stelsa pauses and blinks, as if processing a foreign concept.
Right!
Sometimes Stels forgets that you don't have to put everything on a schedule. Which is fair. School feeding changes the troll.
Stelsa puts up a chair and gestures for you to sit down in front of her desk.
All that said, while we wait for the meal to arrive, let's get down to brass tacks. What brings you to my lovely abode tonight?
Maybe they just want to see you. People don't always need a reason behind that.
You actually do have a reason, though.
Shit.
You explain to Stelsa that you have a friend, more accurately a friend-to-be, or perhaps acquaintance, or perhaps a person of chum-adjacent quality, whom you would like to impress through the pursuits of personal fitness. You recall that Stelsa was jogging when you met her, so maybe she could help you put together a fitness routine, and you could do some workouts together. Her expression lights up as she clasps her hands together.
Oh, goodness, I would absolutely love that. My poor ZZ is usually far too tired and far too busy. Sometimes I don't know how I manage it myself. So I absolutely love a partner to keep train yet running on
Says
time.
yet.
Train, okay? Yeah, who sees that?
That's her last name. Stelsa says yet.
Okay, to keep Stelzias training on time. Assuming, of course, you won't be late yourself and can keep up with my pace.
Fair warning, it's blistering.
Isn't it though? Thanks, sweetums.
You confidently assert that, if nothing else, you can keep pace with her. Your legs have seen a lot of use. Walking, running, fleeing, prostrating yourself before clowns, you know, your usual.
Excellent. We will set up some meetings then. I'll add you to my schedule. My people will call your people, etc., etc. Thanks for visiting. It's been ever so lovely to see you. Toodaloo.
She's halfway through shoving you out the door when you remind her that she invited you in for some grub loaf. She hastily and apologetically pulls you back inside, Tyzias snickering in the background.
I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have Stels. Someone has to be the energetic one in this quadrant.
The contrast is certainly a stark one. Has Tyzias considered quaffing enough energy drinks here or there? Perhaps they could help keep up her pep up.
1, I'd probably literally die. 2, you don't want to see me on energy drinks. Nobody does.
Fair.
I want to see your energy drinks. I bet it's lit.
She'd probably die of a heart attack.
No,
Yeah.
but can you imagine, like, it's always fun seeing an entire person be energetic. It's actually kind of, like, at first you're just shocked, and then it's like, Then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess with you so much right now.
I bet you wish caffeine worked on me so you could see me not tired.
Oh my gosh, seeing you on caffeine, I imagine you'd be on the same, seeing you on the same level as me would freak me out.
It can never happen because caffeine has no effect on me.
Can you imagine if Anna were me?
No.
Exactly.
No, it would be freaky. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I like getting like the cross out, be like, power of Christ compels you.
Oh yeah, the only way I could ever be energetic is if I was possessed by an energetic demon.
And then it'd be like, crap, Anna's Jewish, and like get the Star of David being like, the Star of David compels
I don't
you.
think
That's not the symbol, but good try. It's
Crap,
okay.
what is the symbol?
I forgive you. You spend a while long chatting.
I'm just curious as to what people have been saying. This is spot on. Everything I need right. Yeah, people like your voice a lot.
Oh,
I
thank
smell
goodness.
Homestuck. Have a good night. James Road. This reminds me of a really tame. Well, I mean, she is a blood player. She's a Lycer, so she's basically practically Karkat, except the fact that she's teal. But yeah, I totally get that.
You spend a while longer chatting with Tyzias before the delivery arrives and the three of you have dinner together.
What is grub loaf?
The grub loaf is exactly as bitchin' as advertised. A wonderful meal with wonderful friends. The perfect precursor to the fitness montage yet to come. You visit Stelsa multiple days a week, fitting yourself into her incredibly convoluted and packed schedule. The feat doesn't exactly prove very hard. You basically only exist to spend time with friends. Her equipment is delightfully free of torture devices, besides her step machine, and also owns quite a bit of smaller exercises paraphernalia. Acrobatics doodads and thingamajigs, yoga mats, jogging outfits. Even one of those huge bouncy exercise balls, which he bans you from using after you accidentally send it careening into a carefully organized stack of books. Stelsa carries herself forward with a peppy, always-on sense of gusto that can be difficult to keep up with, but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you invested, to convince you that you really can acquire the swolehood you've dreamed of.
Swole.
By the end of the perigee, you are, well, you wouldn't exactly call yourself ripped, but your muscles are definitely toned in the way they previously were not. You feel hale and healthy, more energetic than ever, with a bit of extra pep in your step. Apparently, regular exercises makes you feel good. Wild. As you look at yourself in the reflection of an acid puddle, you flex and watch your muzzles bulges. Fuck yeah, it's time. At least, you hope it's time. You climb into your scuttle buggy and prepare to set into the autopilot to Nike's place. But something stills your hand. Some strange sensation that has been slowly, surely, settling in your stomach. A sense of unease, of dread. Your days of foolish ignorance are long past, and in their place a burgeoning understanding of the universe in which you exist, and the harsh laws by which it rules its inhabitants. You are beginning to fear, made the wrong choice, with all the consequences that a lapse in judgment entails. Will you ever truly befriend Nike, or are you cursed to live, for who knows how long, in a world without her sweet smile to cure your insatiable addiction? Mayhaps you need not wonder. Mayhap the time has come to look inside yourself, and know you are going to give your chakras one real motherfucker of a blitzing. It's going to take mood music of the highest caliber. Having picked up some meditative tips from Boldir, you navigate your Scuttlebuggy's radio dial to an achromatic buzz station, which is currently playing some soothing ocean sounds. The gentle lap of water melting the shore, the rhythmic beat of the tide, as steady and as sweet as a mother's heartbeat, is interspersed with distant honks and weird animal chittering, of course, because this is still fucking Alternia. You lean back into your seat, reclining it as far as it can go, and sink into the cushiony softness. Something sharp is poking at your rib, but you try to ignore it.
Existential crisis.
You close your eyes and allow the white noise to flood your senses, blocking everything else out. Oh yeah, you are really vibing this shit right now. Chakra status blitz to high hell. ... You imagine casualty as a river, or causality as a river.
Should we pull up my video and play that instead?
Ooh, her video's really good. She does the narration.
I did a dub of this where I so basically, you'll see what happens, but basically it's very layered. It would be hard to narrate one person at a time, because there's like parts where there's 4 or 5 different like narrations going on at once.
Okay, I don't see why not.
I'm gonna try this.
Have we ever do we know how to do it?
I think I do. I think if I existential crisis. Yeah. Hold on one
really
second.
Good, guys.
I'm sure some of them have seen it.
Plus,
but
it's so nice I don't have to do Nike anymore. Oh my gosh, her voice is
Her
rough
voice
on my
hurts.
throat.
yeah, this is why I don't do her.
Was this a long scene?
Yeah.
Soon.
What time is it?
5:11. I was supposed to be there by like 5:30.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
After we do this, do you want to? There we go.
After we do this, if I
yeah, after
head out.
this route, you should head out.
Yeah, and I'll make it on time. So.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to
Would you like me to use some snacks?
turn on display capture, turn off Friendsim, and
Lakes of an
here we go.
You imagine causality as a river. Every choice a branch. Tributaries upon tributaries, winding ever downward. Pooling in lakes of inevitability. The pit in your stomach gnaws. It all ends here. Stagnant, bitter water, reeking of death. Your soul ever yearning for the single, solitary estuary among all the ceaseless spillways. You take a deep breath. Water laps at your sides and tickles your ears. You are adrift. You feel the gentle bob as you float down the river. Hear the rush like a ticking clock. Gravity as time pulling you ever forward. Which river is this? To what end does it deliver you? Your breathing slows, then shudders. You feel the rapids approach, the rivers blur, then shift. Your heart rewinds, misses a beat, a surge of emotion. Water streaking down the curve of your cheek, your lungs ache. Which lungs? Which river? Which you? You try to focus, but the water beats at your brow, lashes your arms and legs, too tired to swim. You try for another deep breath, but nothing comes. With a tumultuous gasp, you sink below the surface, to the churning darkness below. Here, amongst the battering onslaught, the images come. Whirls of emotion, of sound, of thought. Memories best forgotten, or never known. Lakes meant to remain uncharted. The dark sky splits open on a fault line of lightning. The crack of thunder, rain and tearfall. A single drop of olive. Reach out, touch emotion's cheek. The record skips. Yet, what's that you see above you now? Peace through rage. A dark space has opened up, even darker than the night sky, and two stiff-looking winged figures are descending. The whirl of the carousel. Horses whinny as the calliope sings. The circle takes you. Searching eyes implore you. The puppet strings stretch towards the moon. The flash of a blade.
Tex has the cutest
The spray
voice.
of blood. Her strings are cut. The crackle of energy. A fog closes in on you as you lie on that filthy pavement. The world gone grayscale. Is it the fog of death or just impending unconsciousness? Eyes deeper than the deepest pit. One thing is for sure though. A shuddering, final breath. You are lost. Lungs burning. Water clogging every inch. You furrow your brow. Think. Think. Find your river. Coughing. Wheezing. A final rattling. Gasp. Panic seizes you. A resounding crack. The stamp of hooves. The ricochet of gunfire. The death of one. Of thousands. A low, sinister honk. Footfalls. Loud and deep. The swing of a club. Blood on the pavement. Dark, acrid smoke. Indistinct voices and crackling intercoms. A lurch beneath you. Feet thrown out. Neon energy crackling green. Choking, desperate. Lungs aflame. You focus your will. Where are you? Which are you? Find your river. Piercing eyes, a stern, uncompromising gaze. The singe of acid, crushing spikes. The body worn to nothing. All for her approval.
Stelsa carries herself forward with a peppy,
The puff of exertion. Gray muscles flex, and spirits lighten.
but her bright smile and encouraging attitude do wonders to keep you
A gulp of water. The shine of a smile. A looping tape. Mirrors in mirrors. The mind, like time. Infinite. The tributary splits, and you, finally, drift down your chosen route. Freshwater visions as you float towards the surface. A carefree decision. Scuttling legs and the thrum of an engine. Cityscapes passing by. Stern anger.
How
A
dare you
fist
insult me by
tightly
showing your face
clenched.
again?
Shaking. Barely restrained. Hope crushed under rigid foot. A plan.
At times like these, you envy the Purple Bloods. Well, you envy them quite often, actually. They've got amazing strength, unbelievably beautiful rap gods, and honestly, Fagan's starting to grow on you. But right now, you just wish you were a contortionist.
Poorly conceived.
These vents are way too tight.
Desperation.
See? Look at how strong you are. You can lift these weights with ease.
Madness.
You could lift something bigger. You would be happy to demonstrate.
Friendship
Stop
at all
advancing on you with the
costs.
intent to full Nelson your sorry ass.
Navy blood pooling on the concrete.
Ah! My other leg!
Troll and plan both collapsing. Cold hatred in her eyes. Tense footfalls on the
You
pavement.
were just thankful you managed to snatch your water bottle out of the scuttlebutt with the portion
Muscles
you have.
strained to
The
exhaustion.
importance of hydration is never
The
more
sun
evident than
rising
hours fleeing
over
in
a
terror.
desperate
How is
chase.
she even doing this with only one working leg?
Escape. Sweet bliss soon to shatter.
Before the train comes screeching past you. From behind you, you hear a grunt, and then a scream, louder and more agonizing than you've ever heard before.
Blood
Is this it?
and bone
After days, is your odyssey at an end?
turn to steel. Fruitless assistance.
I can't disable her cybernetics.
Clothing
We're too entwined
her
with
soul.
biology.
Stained with blood. No more. No more. One more step.
Your Paul must have died ages ago, but you've been etching lines into the back to keep track of time.
One more desperate
You're nearing the
step.
1-year anniversary of, well, you're not sure what to call it.
One foot after another.
The day you irrevocably ruined your life? The day you fled into the untamed wild?
In the endless chase.
Would celebrate, but you doubt you'll have time. She can't be far.
Drenched in fear.
You try your best to stifle your ragged, fearful breathing.
In sweat.
But you know it's fruitless.
Hidden, but not well
Nothing
enough.
can hide the terrifying pounding of your heart with her bionic ears, nor the heat of your blood to her infrared senses. She can find you here.
The curtains fall. There's no more hiding. One final heartbeat. You close your eyes. At the end of all things.
So Nike becomes so you go back to Nike, you show how swole you got. And
Nope, you're not gonna look at that.
Okay. Amazing video. And good on you, James, for putting that anime as shit thing there. And good for you bringing that out. At the same time, what the fuck? What the fuck? I didn't. Why does that decision lead to that path? That's a terrible punishment. I'm out of here. All of you enjoy the rest of the stream. Goodbye.
I love that reaction. I'm so glad that's your
I'm
reaction.
fucking done.
Bye, babe. See you later. All right, pull out the chair so we can do her good route.
yay!
Also, we're not done with the route. Beans. Bye. Yeah. Use the sauce. What? I'm confused.
Always more sauce.
Sauce is tasty.
I do enjoy sauce.
Food.
Okay.
But wow, that was it's depressing. All right, let's put the Friendsim thing back. Let's get rid of display capture.
Do it.
And put on Friendsim capture. Unmute the volume. Oh. No. Come on.
Excuse me.
Let's Why do you offend me? I just want There we go. And now we're just gonna speed through this because we just watched it but fucked up.
It was so good.
I spent like a month and a half on that fucking thing and nobody watched the video. I'll take the narration. You emerge from beneath the surface with a gasp, coughing up water and oh, it's just you. Sitting in your scuttle buggy, gentle white noise still playing on the radio. You take a moment to catch your breath, your heart thumping against your ribcage like it wants to crawl out and beat you senseless for subjugating it to all that horseshit. I guess Zach's reaction was valid there.
It was so good.
I'm so happy.
You broke Zach.
Because that was the point.
He lived a good life.
Whew, okay, enough meditation for one day. You think you're just gonna... Oh, I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. You think you're just gonna reach over and kinda set the autopilot to Stelzias' house instead of Nike's. Yeah. You have no idea if this will avert or merely delay some horrifying and grisly end or another, but it's better than the alternative. And besides, you really want some more of that bitchin' grub loaf. Yeah.
I can see that happening. That's awesome.
Okay, but you agree with me that we gotta do the other half of Nike's, and then we gotta do Daria's.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But you totally agree with me in that they were like looking through our fucking window when they were writing the part for the for Tyzias and Stelsa.
Oh, absolutely. It's terrifying.
Like it's literally just us. No, it wasn't CL Kyle that wrote this. Who wrote this route?
I want an entire fan.
Might be CL Kyle. Yeah, CL Kyle looked through our fucking window.
I just want an entire Friendsim route of just Stelsa and Tyzias having a day, and then you and me narrating that.
Well, that's what I'm writing.
I know. I'm so excited for it to happen because it's going to be the best one because it's so suitable for us.
Yeah, except they don't spend a day together. It's more they have separate days, and then they converge at the end. Either they converge in the two of them, like going to bed and being cute together, or death.
As necessary.
Someone gets squished by a drone, and I have to choose which one.
Ooh, we should do a vote. Who should die, Stelsa or Tyzias? By a drone. I think it should be Stelsa, but that's my opinion. Sauce equals voice over vid.
Oh, that makes sense. The sauce.
Yes. Follow her channel. It's awesome.
I think they mostly do. I mean, there's only 4 people, and I know they all follow me here.
Thank you for following Anna, guys. You guys are all chill.
And watching my garbage. There's gonna be a new video this Monday. It's a new musical number. But yeah.
Yay!
You guys can tell us who you think we should kill later. Let's continue. Let's take her hand. You take her hand, staring into those hopeful eyes. Oh, to see that deep sapphire blue fill with the glow of friendship. She squeezes your hand so tightly you feel your fingers fracturing.
Excellent! I knew you had the spark. Now, to make a flame. To grind, and crush, and pummel, till it bursts into the roaring blaze of strength. Today, I shall begin by testing your limits. Come.
She leads you to the treadmill and the deep, bubbling pit of acid directly behind it. You nervously step on.
We're going to measure your speed and stamina. Run until you can run no longer.
She starts up the machine. First, she gives you a nice, breezy jogging pace at first, but the treads quickly begin to whir away at a blindingly fast rate. You're sprinting as hard as you can to keep up, holding desperately onto the arms of the treadmill.
Come on, sister! Grit your teeth. Put some thrust sinew into it. If you're not evacuating your acid tract by the time you're done, you aren't trying hard enough.
Sweat beads on your forehead as you push your legs to the limit, running like you're being chased by an angry drone. Your feet must be blurring like Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. But if only Zach was here to hear that.
Oh, boy, he'd say it.
Green Hills.
Freaking Tyler.
For Halloween, she and Zach dressed up as Sonic and Amy.
It was very cute.
It was. The treads are moving ever faster, and you can almost feel yourself slipping. Got to hold. Ugh. You lose your grip and go flying backwards, narrowly grasping onto the edge of the pit and dangling into it, your toes singed by the acid. Youch. You hoist yourself up over the edge and roll to the side, hissing. Nike stands over you, clucking her tongue.
Top speed, 12 miles per hour. That's not that bad.
That's good, right?
For a bronze blood. Next test.
She takes you from machine to machine in quick succession, each time commenting on your skill level. Your biceps are terrible as Rusty's. Your lungs are gold at best. Your legs an unexpected cerulean. All the while taunting you and encouraging you to push yourself further.
The desiccated corpse of my ancestor could do better than this.
You struggle to deadlift a giant barbell made of dead monster skulls.
Are you going to inject dismay fluid all night long, or are you going to warm it up?
You go toe-to-toe with a punching bag that shoots sonic blasts at you whenever you hit it.
Shape up or get ejected on the nearest solar execution barge!
You sob as she forces you to do 30 minutes of free-form jazzercise!
Your jazz hands are terrible!
By the time an hour is up, you are panting and huffing, desperate for a break. Nike finally relents.
Your reward for staying alive thus far. Stay hydrated, sister.
She tosses you one of those protein shaker bottles that gym buffs are always chugging from. You regard the mixture within curiously for a moment before throwing caution to the wind and gulping some down. When has imbibing alien substances ever hurt you before? But when the flavor hits your taste buds, you almost retch. Is this Gatorade mixed with milk?
Nutritious and delicious.
You keep chugging it. You need the liquids, foul though they be.
All right, lactose break over. Let's continue.
She leads you over to one of those Iron Maidens. This one doesn't actually look spiked. It just has a blunt, bumpy surface on the inside.
Get in.
What?
Get in, sister!
You reluctantly step inside the Iron Maiden and the doors clamp shut around you. This thing is far, far too tight for you, and the bumps are pressing into you from all sides, threatening to squeeze you away into nothing. You groan and push back against the walls, desperately trying to keep them from crushing you into a little human waffle.
That'd be adorable!
It would. I want a human waffle. I want a waffle.
I want waffles too.
Waffle frolic.
Yes.
Just when you think your strength is about to give out, the maiden opens.
Pressure resistance. About olive level. These results are surprisingly adequate. Your potential continues to shine. Good work.
This halfway point seems to mark a change in her attitude as you continue to just barely persevere through everything she throws at you. Like a shake weight so powerful it leaves you shuddering intermittently through the next few exercises.
Keep steady, sister! Don't lose heart on me now!
A rowing machine that douses you with boiling water if you can't keep up the pace.
Go, go, go! We'll make a fuchsia medalist of you yet!
Literally being chased around the field outside by a giant toothy monster.
I want to see that. Artists, you aren't giving me the context
I know.
I need. What are you doing?
I mean, at least fan artists can draw this kind of shit.
Very true. Oh gosh, fan artists, like if you guys know fan artists, have them draw the toothy monster.
I don't know if anyone has.
I imagine it looks like a Steven Universe monster.
Yeah, I'm imagining, like, you know, the big one-eyed one?
I think of that Roadrunner one that Peridot was trying to get in the canyon
Oh, I was
episode.
thinking the ice monster.
Ooh, ice monster, that does look very toothy.
Fucking chasing the MC
Giant-
around.
It's just a giant tooth chasing like Chip Skylarks in the
Oh my
background.
god, shiny teeth.
Shiny teeth, shiny teeth.
What are people saying? Save Tyzias, but don't think that this doesn't kill me. Valid. Choice also kills Stelsa. Go off, you monster. Yeah, very valid.
I think she makes a good trainer.
I mean, I could grab her hand, she persists and say, yeet you into a punching bag. You want Gatorade milk? I don't... Blasphemy. Fucking blasphemy.
I can see that not being too terrible.
I mean, it depends on the flavor and whether or not the Gatorade would curdle the milk.
That's a good point. I don't think Gatorade would. I can see the blue Gatorade working well. Orange or red Gatorade, no.
Like if there was a strawberry Gatorade, it might work.
Maybe. Like a strawberry milk kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know orange and milk could work because you could have like a creamsicle thing.
It would just have to make sure it doesn't curdle the milk.
I'm not willing to waste enough milk.
Oh yeah, no, we're not trying this. Don't you make us try this.
I like that the Trollverse, you like now, canonically, I mean, has Gatorade.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's probably called Haterade.
But they just called it Gatorade.
Yeah, but what if it was?
I would love him. Like James Roach, I'd like go and be like,
James Roach doesn't actually write The Sims, unfortunately.
It's just like the James Roach's round where he's like,
he just makes quips that everybody loves.
He sounds great. He sounds like a fun, like one of those fun guys you just want to like have a drink at a bar with and just watch.
He told me I shouldn't be a composer.
It's true.
But he was depressed.
Still salty at him for that. But
yeah, it gave me an existential crisis. But yeah, move on.
Yes, no. You should be a composer and you should kick his ass.
Yeah, but I like him. He's a cool guy.
Still needs an ass whooping. I'll kick his ass and tell him it's because of other reasons. Don't you dare allow this thing the satisfaction of feasting on your bones!
After hours of this grueling work, you finally collapse. You think some of your bones are broken, your heartbeat is coming in quick and irregular pulses, and you can hardly breathe. Your vision blurs and shifts at the edges. God, you're amazed you haven't passed out yet.
Get up!
You glance weakly at Nike, expecting her to be looking down at you with disdain, but instead you see her crouching down and offering her hand, wearing a smile. You take her hand and she pulls you up to your feet. The look on her face now resembles pride, and when she clasps a palm on your shoulder, it only kind of hurts.
You've done well, sister. I threw everything I had at you, and you soldiered on with your head held high, even as your body broke beneath the weight. I've never seen such commitment. Such strength of heart and soul. Such dedication to the craft. Such appreciation for the most righteous of pursuits. You are no mere workout partner. You are a workout friend.
A light blossoms inside of you like the neighing of a horse. Andrew Hussey must have had something to do with this route. The feeling of power, of strength, of the bond between warriors. This is real and true, and this light will never, ever leave you. As you bask here in the satisfying and sweaty glow of a good workout, you realize that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go. But being swole as fuck is forever.
Oh, we even got the belt. That's so nice.
Alright, ready for Daria's route?
Yay! I'll narrate for this one because you get to be the Daria voice.
So I'm gonna do both Daria and Tyzias?
Good point. I could be a... What would you prefer?
Okay,
Then again, Daria and Tyzias wouldn't be that bad.
True. And I'll be doing Chahoot too.
It's true, you're doing
But Chahoot appears for like 1 second and the narration is throughout all. Yeah, you narrate, I'll do the voices.
Damn, of course Zach leaves when we have the one with multiple voices. I'd love to see
We'd probably make Zach do Daria.
I would love to see him try to do Tizzy. So, oh yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah. The drink, I mean. Lord English be damned to the smallness. Yeah. Time for Daria.
Your feet drag as you walk, every limb heavy and slow, and your thoughts are cloudy and dull. Your palm husk is filled with unanswered texts. You feel guilty about this in the back of your mind, where real feelings live crammed together because the front of your mind is too busy being lethargic and numb. Being a bad friend goes against the core tenets of your beliefs, but answering texts just seems like too much effort.
Valid. I just had a sudden fear that I'd left my phone in the practice room. I don't know what made me think that, but no.
No, it's important. I did
It's
put,
your
I do believe I put the Dorito bag on top of it, so I apologize for that slight fear ahead of time being like, where's my phone? Why is it covered in cheese? You're not sure where this particular malaise
came from.
you.
It's French. You always mess up French words because
I-
you don't understand the language.
I do. There's too many letters for too few syllables.
Je suis un baguette.
So true. As Dexter said from Dexter's Laboratory,
He said he should, omelette du fromage, omelet with cheese.
I had one in France once. It was so good.
Did you have like a Parisian omelet?
Yes, I had an egg omelet one day and a cheese omelet another day, and I served you with a little salad with a croissant and a café au lait.
Au lait. Café au lait. Lute?
Yes.
Lait is milk.
Oh, those poor I said that to the waiters.
Oh no. Are any of you French?
It's okay. They're probably just like, look at this dumbass American. We will bring her a coffee.
Joke about the baguette. Yeah, I just said I am a baguette.
I am a baguette. Or like you pull like a Robert Kennedy, like I am a jelly donut.
Ich bin ein Berliner. Because a Berliner is in Germany, it's a jelly donut, but in Austrian, Berliner is someone from Berlin, and a jelly donut is... I forget what jelly donut is in Austrian German, but I saw them every single day for 4 months, and I'm done. I need to go back to Europe.
Agreed.
But let's keep reading.
Right. You're not sure where this particular malaise came from, just that... I apologize for mispronouncing that again. Just that the usual friend-making animus that drives you is still there, but doesn't feel strong enough to overcome how tired you are of everything else. You can't quite remember how it felt to care that much about companionship and camaraderie. In fact, right now you can't remember how it felt to care about much of anything. Your thoughts drift to fantasies of driving your car into the uninhibited Alternian desert until you run out of fuel, and perhaps letting the sun have its way with you. It could be part of that feeling that you've almost made all the friends there are to make, and that there's little left for you to do on this planet. It could be weeks of trauma catching up and sinking you into depression to protect you from thinking about it all. Either way, it just feels like so much effort to do anything, and you'd sort of welcome oblivion if it showed up right now to offer its sweet embrace. Your listless walking has taken you into a familiar neighborhood. The cerulean part of town. You smile as you reminisce, sweet memories peeking through like beams of sunlight through the fog of your apathy. Not far from here is Malik's Hive, with all of its hacking equipment and charming upper-middle-class atmosphere of entitlement and compliance mixed with vaguely socially aware concern.
AKA relatable as shit.
I think that's pretty much our dorm.
That's, the white privileged college student. That's why Malik is so relatable.
I love him so much. I want to use Sprout again. Plus he likes us. He wants to kiss us. He wants to date us.
He takes his shirt off for us.
Wet and shirtless.
Yes, wet from random trash river water.
Yep, gotta love that trash river water. Does wonders for the skin, I hear. And though you've only seen pictures of it on Chitter, you know that
Ramela.
Ramela, thank you.
I'm the only one who ever pronounces it that way. Everybody pronounces her name a little bit differently.
Okay. That Ramela's hipster art studio / hive is also in the neighborhood. They should have like a song title like Nike's does, where it's like the shoe.
Yeah. That's how we know it's pronounced Nike, because James Roach titled her song "I Guess It's Like the Shoe."
And one block over is our Dada's place, which gave you your gruesome and troubling introduction to Alternian social norms. One taught you love, one taught you patience, one taught you pain. Or something like that. Huh.
Best theme. This is the best song. This is my favorite song.
Alright. Your video for this is so excellent. The hive you're closest to is actually L-words, and as you shamble closer, you realize that a lot of other trolls seem to be converging here too. Fishing out your palm husk, you see that the unread message from L-word is an invitation to a party at her place. Looking around you, you feel a flame of your old desire to meet and greet rekindling in your heart. There are plenty of trolls here you haven't met yet, plenty of opportunities for friendship. The now roaring fire in your belly feels a little artificial, like someone just injected you with friend-making hormones to float out your regular human melancholy, but you're not going to complain because this is vastly preferable. As you're walking briskly towards Elward's hive, you spot a troll lurking in the shadows by Elward's back door. Curious, you approach, and when you get closer, you can spot the jade green in her outfit. Although there's not much of her blood color in comparison to what most other trolls seem to sport, because she's mostly wearing black and spikes and black spikes.
Ugh, it's you. Guess it makes sense you'd be here. You'd probably be friends with Elward, huh? Whatever.
Yeah, you're friends with Elward, but you didn't come here for the party. You're just in the neighborhood. You try to mimic Darius, a disaffected slouch. It's not hard, as you can just channel the you from your 60 seconds ago, who was very disaffected indeed. From the approving arch of Darius' eyebrow, you think you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, parties are lame. Most parties are anyway. This one might be cool. Elward's pretty cool.
Lexi blushing.
Yeah, she just wants Elward's approval because she's the coolest. I mean, she seems alright. I don't think she's that cool. I just think her hair and clothes and personality don't completely suck is all.
You tactfully don't comment on the green blush in Daria's cheeks when she's talking about Elward, nor the way she keeps glancing at the door like she's hoping someone will invite her in. She's clearly trying to sneak into this party and doesn't have an invite. When a branch snaps in the bushes, Daria startles and looks around shiftily. You wonder if she's supposed to be out on her own this far from the caverns at all.
I'm not a baby like Wanshi. So what if I snuck out? The cloister rules are so lame. Bronya is so lame. I can't believe Elward used to hang out with her. But I guess if she hadn't befriended Bronya, then I never would have met her. It's hard to meet non-Jade Bloods in the caverns. All the time you're underground with nothing but lucii and grubs and the same stupid jades every day. It sucks down here.
Daria's imitation of grubhorn bracelets. Imitation grubhorn. Daria's imitation grubhorn bracelets clunk as she folds her arms over her chest. Her heavy makeup makes it look like her eyes are twin black holes, where all sense of fun and caring about things might go to die. She's giving you a marked contrast from how Bronya talked about the caverns, with the peace and quiet and safety they offered compared to Alternia's surface. And other than that time Linnea nearly killed you in a cave, and that time you were nearly trampled by a rampaging Lucis, you remember liking the caverns.
You would think that. Dunno why I thought you might be cool. You might be friends with Elward, but you're also friends with, Bronya and Linnea. They're the two most boring trolls on this planet.
You can't help but feel slightly defensive of your friends. Sure, Linnea is Linnea, but you wouldn't call her boring. And Bronya is very fond of rules, it's true, but she can hang.
Ugh, whatever. This conversation's dumb. I don't care if you can't get me into the party, nothing matters anyway. Just make your stupid choice and get on with it. Party hard!
What the hell? It's not your job to keep anyone in line, and it's not like you have a great understanding of why even the older Jade Bloods need to stay underground anyway. If Daria wants to sneak into parties and get into trouble, who are you to say no? Daria expresses no pleasure at your decision to get her into the party. She just shrugs and rolls her eyes. You shrug and roll your eyes back. You can play the role of disaffected teen with the best of them. You take her around to the front door. Hey, you're looking forward to seeing Elward again. When you met her, you didn't have nearly as many friends as you do now, and in retrospect, you know you came off as
sycophantic.
What's that?
It's like, people-pleasing.
But we kinda are.
Yeah. That's human nature.
I'm super sycophantic.
What are people saying? Oh, guy in my German class that you actually said that thinking it made sense. So when the teacher said, he just said, "Je suis un baguette." He just said, "I'm a baguette." Beautiful. Oh, the only edgelord that has a legit reason to be an edgelord. Accurate.
Take her around to the front door. Hey, you looking for? Okay, blah blah blah.
Oh, sycophantic.
Wouldn't it be great if you could introduce Elward to the new, popular, and knowledgeable you? As you're walking up the steps, a huge shadow dwarfs yours. You look up to see Chahoot of all trolls grinning above you.
Well, hey, little... alright, I need to turn down the volume if you're gonna hear my voice here. Well, hey, little one. I remember you. And who is this new little one you got with you? Chahut switches her interest from you to Daria, grinning down at her. Daria isn't huge for a jade blood or anything, but she seems absurdly tiny with Chahut looming down at her like that. Her face remains impassive and bored, but she scuffs one of her big black boots on the ground and twists one of her spiky bracelets around on her wrist. Cute. Don't see many little jades outside the caverns. I've always found greenies fascinating, so devoted to the continuation of our species. What a holy mission. Chahut moves slowly and lazily, like she has all the time in the world and no conceivable reason to rush, and reaches out to pat Daria's shoulder. She lets her hand linger, one claw resting against Daria's neck. Ain't it a dangerous proposition to be so far away from your green brothers and sisters? Unless you're hiding something in those pretty little veins. A slimy chill runs down your spine. Daria seems frozen to the spot, staring straight ahead at Chahut's bosom in front of her. You think Chahut is joking, but it can be hard to tell with clowns. Their humor is just so much more highbrow than everyone else's. Just joking.
Oh,
This looks like a good party, even if Elwood's too blasphemous for my taste sometimes. Say both of you little ones inside. And then she ambles away, bending down to duck inside the door to the party. You hear party sounds, music and laughter and clinking drinks, and what could be the sound of someone being murdered, which qualifies as a party noise on this planet. Then the door swings shut again, and you and Daria look at each other. Daria's heavy makeup can still make it hard to read her expression, but you can still tell that she's rattled. Oh wait, you're the narrator!
Oh yeah, I was thinking...
I'm so sorry!
Oh no, it was fine. I'm like, I actually thought like this would get you into the mode.
Oops,
Like,
I didn't mean to do it, yeah.
Chahut voice.
What did the people think of my voice?
It's super hot, right? Her Chahut voice.
Do I make you horny with that? You know what? It looks like this party's filled with lame conformers. All these high bloods that buy into the system and do what they're told, even L-word. We can find something better to do somewhere else.
Yeah, to hell with this party! You're down to find your own fun, especially if that means not putting Daria in the way of potentially murder-happy clowns. As you saunter away from the party, you realize that Daria is looking at you expectantly.
Well, you've got this reputation for being all unconventional and weird and rebellious. Everyone seems to think that you're, like, totally fucking with the conventions of society or whatever. So you got any suggestions for cool shit to do?
God, you've sure felt a lot of pressure to be quirky since word has spread about your manic pixie dream alien ways. It's not like you're trying to be a vehicle for other characters to project onto, assisting in character growth and insight for those around you, while your impulse decisions and carefree way somehow keep yourself stagnant and forever unchanged. It just seems to sometimes be like that. Anyway, is that different than text font?
Yeah, the font looks weird. Huh.
Looks like HarperCollins font.
Why do you know?
Harper's Weekly font.
Why do you know exact font? I guess. Just came back. What the fuck? Huh. Oh, what did you leave to? Left for, I guess. Huh.
Anyway, you're tired, and it's daunting to have a punk teen expecting you to come up with suggestions for cool stuff. You have a feeling that she's just going to shoot down whatever you suggest. You rack your brain trying to think of anywhere from your many adventures that Daria might like. Your think pan comes up with zilch and squat, and she's starting to look bored with you. Confessing that you can't think of anything is probably an option if you want Daria to be your friend, and as exhausted and disillusioned as you feel with your socialite routine, you like her and you want to bond. Maybe...
What do you want to do?
Don't know, what do you want to do?
Oh, you want to do the tough one?
You tell Daria that you have no ideas for cool things to do because everything on this planet is lame. But she's from here. Doesn't she know of any non-lame places to go?
Ugh, I told you. I'm stuck underground all the time. It's not my fault that I'm literally sheltered and never get to do anything fun.
Oops. Maybe this was the wrong approach. She seems pissed at you. But then Daria sighs loudly and uncrosses her arms from her chest.
I do know of one place that's pretty alright, I guess. Better than here, anyway. It's far, though.
Not a problem. You got wheels. You were walking around the neighborhood because, well, you felt lifeless and glum and your car needs alien fuel, which you've been reluctant to ask someone how to get because you don't want to be told it runs on grub grease, something like that. But now you have purpose again, and you're more than willing to provide transportation in service of your new friendship goal. You take Daria to your car parked a few blocks away, and she directs you where to go. You drive through neighborhood after neighborhood, through the Yellow Blood slums where you met. There's slums? I thought Yellow Bloods were okay.
Well, they live in a garbage pile.
Well, that's just those two.
Yeah, well, Gold Bloods aren't particularly upper class. They're still, like, gold, rust through gold is they're pretty destitute. Then when you get to olive, they're a little less destitute, but they still, like, get their hives burned down and shit. And then when you get to teal, they're, like, well off enough to survive comfortably.
Cool. Except the Jades.
Yeah, well, the Jades are just in the caverns.
Well, the Jades are, like, I feel like the Jades are, like, the most neutral of the ones, because everyone's like, we need you to keep going.
Yeah, they can't call Jades because they need them. Except someone made a... What? Why is there, like, pink on this? You random questionable candidate. Someone made a theory that the reason why Jades are rare is it's a punishment, like, they're being punished for the Dolorosa's sins. So, like, Jades, they have to be separated, and they can't have sex. They have to be celibate. And the celibacy keeps a lot of Jades from being born, because only a few Jades will be allowed to fuck.
Makes sense.
So it keeps them rare, and because if you have an entire cast... sorry, I'm crunching food. If you have an entire cast of trolls that is made to mother, to be kind and mothering and care for children, you're gonna get another Dolorosa.
Shit, Dolorosa's so cool.
And that's why you get Bronya. Either Bronya or Daria is the proxy for the Dolorosa. You guys know my proxy theory, I think. I want the proxy theory to happen in Hiveswap.
It'd be very cool if it did happen. I like the theory, and honestly, I think it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I just love the ancestors, and I want them to have proxies in Hiveswap.
Ooh, that would be so cool.
I mean, we've got a Dolorosa proxy, we've got a Red Glare proxy, we have a Summoner proxy, we just need a Signless proxy.
It's true. I guess we'll find out. Maybe it'll come out in part 2.
Yeah, whenever part 2 comes, what pumpkin give us part 2?
Please, these streams are fun. Okay, let's see here. You drive through neighborhoods, say Yellow Slums, where you met Follicle and Cuprum, the busy urban sector where you had adventures with Tagora, and the austere Indigo Enclave where Galek lives. Excuse me. Eventually, the buildings get sparse, and you think about how you were yearning to drive out into the barren landscape and not die, maybe, but stop. Just let it all end. You don't think Daria would take you all the way out here just for you to both meet sweet oblivion, but who knows, trolls can be kind of hard to predict. Just when you think you've reached a point where there can't be any more city or suburbs left, a rubble of massive old buildings comes into view. It looks almost like a miniature version of the main Alternian city that you're used to, except it's all abandoned and mostly ruined. Nothing around here looks inhabitable.
Rumor has it that some of the trolls who lived here pissed off the Condis, so she cold the whole town. That would have been way back in the day. It's ancient history now. If there were any survivors, I guess they'd either be dead or up in space. Anyway, all these old buildings are kind of sick. There's never anyone here, and I'm into that.
You drive until she tells you to stop in front of a huge crumbling building. Even though this thing is half gone, you can still tell it's a mall. It seems a bit different from the mall you visited with Polipa, even aside from the fact that it's totally dark and there's no one inside. It seems more old-fashioned, a lot more like one of your familiar Earth malls. Every dystopian movie you've ever seen has taught you to be extremely wary of abandoned malls, and you feel pretty nervous as Daria takes you up the rickety, frozen escalator. It's so dark you can barely see your hand in front of your face. You're trying not to show your fear because you don't want to look like a wuss in front of Daria, but you can't hold back a whimper when your foot lands on a step that makes a distinctive about-to-collapse noise.
Don't be scared. It's okay, I've climbed all over this place 1,000 times, and anything that isn't already disintegrated is sturdy enough. And there's no risk of culling out here because, well, everyone's already been culled.
She's gentler towards you than you would have expected, given her cynical and spiky demeanor. You swallow your fear as you reach the top of the escalator and tell her that it's chill. You just have some horror movie associations. Daria turns and pats you stiffly on the arm. You would never tell her this, but her reassuring manner once she's noticed someone is in distress kind of reminds you of Branya.
It's worth it when you get to the cool part. Come on.
Shit continues to be dark for a while, though you see some light up ahead. As you get closer, the hall opens up into a food court and see that the light is moonlight shining through the mostly absent roof. And Daria was right. There's something extremely surreal and cool about a decrepit, empty food court with the roof caved in. Rubble sits atop cafeteria tables and plastic food trays are scattered on the floor, and... okay, that might be the remains of a troll skeleton, still wearing a mostly disintegrated fast food uniform, which is less cool and makes you remember that this place is abandoned because the Constant sent drones here to murder everyone!
You want to know the weirdest thing about this mall? Seems like actual adults used to maybe work here. I've gone through a lot of the stores, and some of them are for adult-sized things. And there's a store for, like, shit the drones bring you now. There's army supplies for going off-world, too. If this mall is for adults, it must be really fucking ancient.
Jeez, has it really been that long since there were adults on this planet? Even after all your time on Alternia, that still kind of freaks you out. What must that be like to grow up entirely without adults, to live on a planet that's nothing but kids? Daria gives you a weird look.
Ugh, what would it even be like to have adults down here, too? It sounds way more dangerous and stupid. It's not like we're all wigglers. Trolls have to grow out of that mindset pretty fast. People have responsibilities or whatever the fuck, at least they pretend to. And there's training and stuff for Jades. We're basically trapped. Maybe you'd think that a planet of kids would mean that you can do whatever you want, but I've never had any freedom. And I'll have even less as an adult. Cloistered Jades aren't even allowed to join the Imperial Army. Instead, we get shipped off to live in isolation. We're forbidden to contribute genetic material to the slurry, and no paling is allowed once we mature. For some, I don't know, bullshit old-fashioned reason that I pretty much don't understand at all. In Alternia, your whole future's decided the second you're hatched. People tell me all the time that I'm lucky as a Jade blood, but I don't feel lucky at all.
Oof, yeah. I agree with Daria that the future she describes sounds bleak as hell.
Right? It's gonna fucking suck. And it's so shitty that I have it good. I mean, at least I don't have a certain early death in my future like a lot of low-bloods. The system's so fucked up and it's never gonna change and I hate it here. I just want a way out of it. Maybe when you go back to your home planet, you could take me with you?
The request comes out of left field, and for a few seconds you just blink at her stupidly. Even with all that angry black makeup around her eyes, she just looks so sad. Sad and lost. You wish you had a different answer to give her, but you tell her that you can't take her back to your planet because you don't know how, when, or if you're ever going home. You've been trying not to contemplate the future because on the rare occasions that you do let yourself think about it, existential dread tends to take over.
Dread. Yeah, that's the word for it. The older I get, the more I realize how shitty things are. I try not to think about it, just like you. But it still hits home sometimes, and when it does, I don't feel like angry or rebellious. Instead, I feel completely fucking paralyzed.
This, too, is a familiar emotion to you. You feel for Daria, who has wandered over to the middle of the food court and is staring up through the cave-in at the moons. She has her arms wrapped around her middle, and the spiky jewelry and jagged haircut and big black boots don't do anything to make her look less small. You wish you knew what to say to make her feel better. You've done a decent job of cheering up dejected trolls in the past, but it's hard when you're feeling so crabby about your own situation. You mutter something about how things could still get better. You never know what the future holds, yada yada yada, and she looks at you like she knows just how hollow your words are.
Ugh, you sound just like Branya. Next, are you gonna tell me how important Jade Bloods are and what an honor all this responsibility is? Give me a break. Optimism is for chumps and losers. Keeping grubs safe doesn't matter. The continuation of our species doesn't matter. Nothing any of us do fucking matters.
You feel your blood getting hot to match the steel that's now in her voice. A sick part of you finds this train of thought a lot more viscerally satisfying than trying to cheer her up, which wasn't working anyway. You stamp your feet, and so does she.
I can't believe anyone bothers to try and carve out a real life on this worthless shithole of a planet. There's no point. We might as well all be culled.
In the back of your mind, you know you should maybe be disagreeing with some of this, but you're too worked up to care. Maybe Daria's right. Maybe nothing matters.
That's fucking right. Maybe I should just quit.
You falter in your righteous fury. Maybe quitting is going a bit far.
Maybe the high bloods that go around causing death and destruction just because they can't have the right idea.
This is starting not to sound so great.
What doesn't sound so great about it? Who cares if I decide I don't want to be a caretaker and instead I just burn shit down for fun? There's no point to anything, so what does it matter? Who cares?
Daria's hands are balled into fists and her teeth are bared as she glares at you. You open your mouth maybe to tell her that you care, even though that would probably sound trite. But no words come out. She scoffs and turns away from you and jumps on a crumbly-looking cafeteria table.
You know what? Fuck all this. Friendship is as pointless as everything else.
She picks up one of the chairs and you really need to stop being surprised at the strength of even the scrawniest-looking trolls and hurls it at the nearest fast food stall. You thought it was just a random throw at first, but it appears that she was aiming with precision because a cat crashes into a tank of fuel connected to the oven. You're not sure how Eternian cooking technology works, but the stall explodes in a huge green-tinged fireball that knocks you on your ass. That's awesome. That's a good shot. You watch in horror from your ass-level vantage point as the flames lick into the restaurants on either side, explosions happening around the food court like dominoes. Daria stands on her table in the middle of it, unmoving as fire threatens to envelop her.
This is probably the only place I actually like on this whole planet. So good riddance. If it's gone, one less thing to care about.
With all the dust and debris, this mall's coming down fast around you. You desperately want to get Daria out of here, but you desperately want to save yourself more. And Daria doesn't look like she wants to be saved. You make a feeble attempt going over to her and trying to grab her around the waist to get her out of here, but she kicks you hard in the chest. Her steel-toed combat boots send you flying, and it's once again 0 days since you last broke your ribs. As used to this pain as you are, it still takes you a second of lying on the floor in agony before you push yourself up to look back at the food court. A wall of fire now separates you from the tables inside. You can't even see Daria anymore. Your heart sinks. Maybe she'll come to her senses and pull herself up out of danger and escape through the caved-in roof. Maybe she'll get out some other way. You stumble to your feet, half thinking that maybe you can find water or fire extinguisher in some part of this wall that isn't burning up, but smoke chokes your lungs, and in your panic, your human survival instincts take over. You dash toward the escalator as mall infrastructure starts to crumble around you, and you don't want to abandon Daria, but it's all you can do to get your own sorry self out of there alive. Yeesh.
Yep. Rip Daria.
That was light. Get more water quick.
Ooh, get me a cup of water.
Be right back. Entertain our guests.
Yee. Yo. Yeah, it is. Oh, Makara Gaming, you're playing Deltarune. Cool.
Ooh, nice.
She has yet to play it.
I want to though.
Actually, we're thinking of having a Undertale day once we're done with Friendsim. Because Flag hasn't played Undertale, and also neither has a friend of ours who is basically a self-proclaimed Undertale expert kind of thing. He arranged a arrangement with me 3 years ago, and he hasn't finished it, so we kind of have to force him to play it. You're blinded underground, no room to make a sound. Just open your eyes, the lights. The law's tight tonight. It's time we became unbound. You can't tell me what to say. You can't tell me what to do. I'm telling you. Just look outside. The future will be a place where we can be true. You see the queen up there, so high atop her throne. But soon Miss Condescension will have to atone. I love that song. It needed lyrics. I will set up the route for when she comes back. Party hard. And yeah, I'll just leave that up for when the next bit starts. You're blinded underground, no room to make a sound. Just open your eyes, the walls tight tonight. It's time we became unbound. You can't tell me what to say, you can't tell me what to do, I'm telling you. my own desires where the future is free. You see, you know that it's true. In the dark, suddenly made a spark. Can't tell me right from wrong when it comes along with the Empire's trademark.
You can't tell me.
Keep your head down, keep your head down. If fun you see me, soon we'll be free.
Keep your head
You've tried so hard,
but we'll never stop.
Alright, let's do the, wander the streets like hoodlums.
Here's the thing. Your weirdest and best adventures have happened to you when you've decided to be spontaneous and just let shit happen. Adventures and coolness are both hard things to plan.
So what are you suggesting? That we just wander?
Her derisive tone makes you hesitate, but, well, yes, that's exactly what you're suggesting. Daria gives you a long, considering look. You hold your breath. Then she shrugs.
Okay, whatever, sure. Not that I have anything better to do. Let's just go.
This place looks awesome.
Nora. No, you're not Nora, fuck. You're not missing. Yo, Chrissy, look. It's Galek and Tagora. They're people watching on a hate date.
Aww. This place looks awesome, though.
Little downtown city area.
I like that they don't have words, they just have pictures, like being like, we have booze, or grub
Well, I mean, they have
booze.
words. They're just Alternian words. Grub booze.
You meander. Thank you. I almost got it. You meander through the well-maintained cerulean streets, heading downtown. This seems like a good opportunity to get to know your new potential friend, so you start by asking her some fairly simple questions.
Ugh. How am I? Gee, I don't know. I'm forbidden to leave the stupid caverns, and as a Jade Blood, all I have to look forward to is a life of being forbidden to do things. How do you think I am?
She has a point. Okay! You try to walk that one back a little. It sounds like Daria's unsatisfied with the Jade Blood setup.
That's one way to put it. You could also say that I'm unsatisfied with, like, the whole setup of my species. You've been here for a while now. Don't tell me you haven't noticed that every part of our society is transparent bullshit.
You glance around because Daria's right. You've been around for a while, and that means you know enough to know that if the wrong people overheard this kind of talk, you'd both get called on the spot. But everyone here seems distracted by their own nonsense. Cautiously, you can sense that, yeah, you've noticed a cerulean bullshit aroma.
Yep, it all stinks. No one has any kind of real future except for the highest of the high bloods. And actually, I've heard that things pretty much suck for them too. Some might say that purple bloods are the most disprivileged caste of all.
You're just going to continue to not comment on that one. Instead, you point out that being a Jade Blood, Daria has a purpose beyond just growing up to become fodder in the Imperial Army, like you've heard of other trolls mention. Surely that counts as a real future.
Ugh. Don't get me started. Suffice to say, I'm not exactly hype about the purpose I supposedly have. More like the purpose was arbitrarily assigned to me. But it's not like I have a choice. Rebelling in any sort of real way would put me in danger of a culling. Life here is pretty much just hopeless.
Damn, you wish you had a good counter-argument. You want to give her some words of comfort, but what can you even say? Daria's right. Shit's grim.
At least you're honest. Thanks for not bullshitting me. You know, Lanera said you were good to talk to about real stuff. I guess she was right.
That's... Huh! You're surprised that Lanera is going around talking about you, saying positive things even, but you're more surprised that Daria is bringing her up in a non-derisive context. You didn't know that Daria and Lanera were close.
Ugh, no, gross. I hate Lanera. And not in a romantic way. Or, well, anyway, never mind. She's got a hate crush on Lanera.
Daria looks embarrassed and flustered and also pissed at you. At least you've gotten the subject away from how hopeless everything is, but still, you don't want this friendship to sour. As you're scanning your useless brain for a tactful subject change, you're saved by the footsteps of a new troll approaching. And as luck would have it, you know this troll. It's Tyzias, which makes sense because your meandering has taken you and Daria close to Tyzias' favorite book hive.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Never mind. I don't even need to ask. You're obviously making friends with this Jadeblood. Searching for some dumb shit, no doubt. Don't let me keep you.
Tyzias looks just exhausted as you remember. You don't want her to go just yet because it's been a while since you've seen her and you're always eager for opportunity to catch up with a friend, especially one of the less murderous ones. Then you notice Daria eyeing Tyzias' mug of unidentifiable liquid, and an idea occurs to you. You get excited, bouncing along the balls of your feet as you introduce Tyzia and Daria to each other. You explain to Tyzias with a meaningful look that she hopes she'll interpret correctly that you and Daria were just conversing about the more unjust aspects of Altarian society and how hopeless everything seems to be.
What do you mean, the more unjust aspects? Does Altarian society have aspects that are not unjust? I'm sweeps into studying our legal system, and I haven't found any.
Daria makes a muffled sound that could be a laugh. You make your meaningful look more meaningful. Doesn't Tyzias remember that conversation she had with you about justice in the shitty system? The importance of possibly futile work to try and improve things someday? Pissing? Tyzias squints at you, then takes a long slurp from her mug.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
You wave your hands around. Now you're talking! Tyzias is one of the few friends you've made that seems to not only notice that shit was fucked, but wanted to dedicate herself to not unfucking the shit as much as she could. Of course, many of your dear friends try to make the world a little better in various clumsy, interpersonal, distinctly Altarian ways. You think of Trixie striving for her music even when it pits her against Highbloods, the baffling but sweet ways that Camille and Anastasia and Galect and Tagore care for each other, and Foster's commitment to political... Wait... Why did you think of that guy? He's a total shill for the Condens. Anyway, Tyzias Condis, thank you. Oh, I got it right.
It's short for condescension.
For the Which one's closer? Oh, right, red blood.
Communism guy, the guy who, yeah.
Anyway, Tyzias' big picture mentality in a cause that she believes in, and the simple fact that she hasn't yet completely given up is inspiring. Darius is struggling with the feelings of despair, so maybe Tyzias could talk to her about the work that she's been doing.
What? No, I'm not struggling. It's whatever. I don't even care.
Daria kicks at the ground sulkingly. Tyzias looks her eyes lingering on the jade symbol on her shirt and her spiky black jewelry, then sighs.
Sure you don't care. I went through a phase of telling myself that too. Thought it would make it easier to deal. But nah.
Tyzias pauses for another mug slurp, and you think she might be enjoying the opportunity to monologue a little bit. Daria huffs.
The only thing that helps, and I'm not even sure that helps is the right word for it, is finding something to work on your own time, in your own little corner. To try and make shit a little less... But there's nothing I can do in my corner! It's pointless to pretend otherwise. And that goes for everyone. Like, this whole system is designed to help Highbloods stamp out dissent in every corner. One troll can't do anything against something like that.
Tyzias' eyebrow twitches as she stares at Daria, clearly peeved at being interrupted. Uh-oh. This could be going better.
Well, no shit. What do you take me for? I'm not saying that all it takes is standing up and fighting for what's right or something stupid like that. That's obviously a surefire way to get cold. Well, then what are you saying? How can you even know what however piddly little action you're taking will change anything? I can't tell you the future, dumbass. No one can give you a guarantee that any kind of action taken will be ultimately effective. You have to decide for yourself that it's worth it to try anyway. Why would you think it's worth it when everything around us confirms that nothing will ever change? I can't believe you're calling me a dumbass when that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Tyzias looks like she's about ready to throw the contents of her mug in Daria's face. Knowing trolls, she'd probably follow up with the mug itself. This is not the conversation you hope for at all. You step in before things can get any more heated. You tell Tyzias that you're sorry and that you didn't flag her down just so that her ideas could get shit on. You turn to Daria, who's staring at both of you with a defiant look on her face and a stubborn set to her jaw. This kid, she's just so dead set on rebelling against anyone who tries to tell her anything with even the faintest whiff of authority. You really thought that maybe all that attitude could be channeled into something productive that would also help her feel better and possibly even give her a sense of purpose. You're not mad, just disappointed.
Ugh. Don't give me that look, okay? I was just stating my opinion. But I guess I could have been less of a bone bulge about it.
You're pleasantly surprised that Daria more or less apologized. Tyzias looks mollified too.
She just makes me so angry. Angry and sad and helpless. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself when I really have to think about it. Bingo, unfortunately. I feel the same way. I don't think there's any getting around the helplessness. But what I was trying to say... Oops, sorry. Is that working on something that might help fix something someday makes that feeling a little less powerful. So what you're saying is that it's just about making yourself feel better? Well, when you put it that way, it sounds bad. I believe I'm working on things that might affect change someday, even if I'm not around to see it. But also, yeah. Most of the time it helps me sleep at night too.
You can tell Daria's is a bit disappointed by this. Like, she doesn't trust that political rebellion can go hand in hand with making the rebels feel good about themselves. You point out that whether or not Tyzias feels good about her work doesn't make the work itself any less effective.
Yeah, and in the end, the universe doesn't care about how I feel. Or at least the okay thing. For its own sake, even if it might ultimately be futile, what the fuck else are we gonna do on this bitch of an Alternia? You got me there. I'm bored all the time, there really isn't anything cool to do down in the caverns. I guess during downtime in my training I could, I don't know, help you out maybe? Not that I have anything to offer other than the book hive and the jade cloisters. Access to that might really help with my research, actually. Give me your number and we can talk.
They made friends!
I ship them pale so fucking hard.
I bet they'd be great.
Yeah. Pale Dartiz. Pale Dartiz is perfect.
Is it just your imagination, or does Tyzias look a smidgen less tired and bags under her eyes less baggy and her back a little straighter? And you think the corners of Daria's lips might be very slightly quirked up? Daria turns her possibly a smile from Tyzias to you.
This is cool, I guess. Or at least not so bad. But I don't know if it counts as something cool, so I guess we could just keep hanging out until more shit happens.
You know Daria well enough by now to recognize this for the ringing endorsement that it is. You're about to happily agree when Tyzias pipes up.
I'm just heading home from studying, but I'm not tired yet. If you wanted a third wheel to drag along.
Double friendship.
Three-way friendship combo bob victory.
Yay!
This is my favorite route.
This was fun.
Yeah! Anybody say any comments? Nah. Well, thank you guys for coming!
Excellent show, guys.
That was volume 17.
Woo!
Personal favorite volume. And yeah, next week, 18, we're gonna get drunk alongside MC.
Oh, that's a cabaret.
Oh, right. We're off for a week. Sorry. Ooh, and then it's 413. Okay, so I guess it'll be a couple weeks before we do volume 18.
I bet we could totally get Nora to do it.
Wait, you have friends who are Homestucks. Is Nora one of them?
Nora is familiar with it. I do not know if she actually is it, but I bet we could. I bet she totally would be into doing it.
So finish out the series with a bang, or with a sob, depending on what you're feeling.
Absolutely. That could also be the day that we make the cookie dough.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Nora would enjoy that, too. Just, as a treat.
Just eating an entire bowl of cookie dough while playing the game. We should... Oh, I wonder if we get Zach in it, too. Do a whole, 4-way.
Makes it sound sexual.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that.
4th stream. Yeah, 413. Okay, this is my 7th 413.
Oh my gosh, that actually makes so much sense!
Oh, I should make a new title card and have it say 4th stream. I have to make some content for 413. Oh, all you guys, go on my Twitter and find my post about the, what's it called? The gift exchange. You guys should all be part of my gift exchange. I mean, clearly some of you already know about it. Obviously, Abby, you already know about it because you're part of it. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, do the 413 gifts exchange. And yeah, we will see you all on the greatest holiday of the year.
Oh wait, do I still need to sign up on Twitter stuff?
I already did.
Oh,
I did it for you.
She's so good to me, guys. My roommate's the best. We will see you all in a week or two.
Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Bye bye.
Au revoir. As we were talking about French earlier.